1-5, mate. A big loss to Geelong on the weekend. What did you learn in the review preparing for Carlton this week?
Won the last quarter. Some really good things that we think came out of the second. We had some chances in the early part of that second quarter that we didn't really, take full advantage of. We had some opportunities to put more scoreboard pressure and try and even the game out. We've got to take more advantage of our inside 50 ball. We've got to become a bit more efficient. But again, we're still chipping away at becoming a better team defensively. That's the element of game. We'll let too much score go through, and that's the element that we're trying to work on, a defensive system.
In the middle this week, you'll have a pretty big advantage in the ruck, it'd be fair to say, with Mark Pittman out for Carlton. How are you going to look to exploit that?
It doesn't always necessarily correlate that, because you've got a key ruck and the opposition, doesn't necessarily. They'll probably go to work on some ground level cover around how they'll structure up their centre bouncers. So we just have to, maintain that efficiency that we've got. We got some score out of our CB last week, which was really good, but it's not a given just because we've got a ruck versus maybe not having a number one ruck for Carlton that will give us that advantage automatically.
What have you made of your ruck combination at the moment with Goldie and Sherry? Will you look to rest Goldie at all and give the younger guy the one up?
Probably not at this stage. We think Goldie's going okay. I think the role that he's playing, we see him being the one that's more impacted it for us on the scoreboard, which he has. Last couple of weeks he probably hasn't taken enough marks forward. We think that he's an awkward forward to match up on. That's the methodology, and he's got great experience when we can have Tristan come in and then Todd comes in and then we're able to get that dual role. So we think it's working well. Our clearances will indicate, and our hands on the ball first would indicate that that's in a reasonable space, at least part of our game. But there's no sentiment for us to necessarily rest Goldie at this stage. He certainly hasn't asked for one.
No Ben this weekend and Harry potentially to play. So you've lost the battle of the Mackays, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's interesting being the dad of twins. I understand the sentiment that those two would have, but it's a weird one, this one. It hasn't been able to get to any real significance of them being able to play on each other. So it's just a pity. Look, it's what it is. Ben, it's got the week and we've got to move on. So we just have to reshape our back end.
How are you going to go covering for that absence down back?
There's a couple. Aidan Bonner, was in the mix. Miller Bergman's playing really well. So we might have enough with just the two talls that we've got. Lukey McDonald is one we've used on a wing. He could probably go back. So we've got a couple. Matty McGuinness is another one that's playing quite well in that back end. So we like the way he's been playing at VFL level. So we've got a couple of options, we think.
Where's Jed Anderson at?
So Jed will be back in this week. So he played the first week. Then we gave him another training load this week. So he'll be back at VFL level this week. So I think if he gets through this week, he's probably ready to go. Maybe one more, but 2 6-day breaks for us. So we just have to be careful for loading. But he's getting pretty close. He's training really well.
How is his conditioning? You'd be happy with the way he's come back then?
Yeah, we have. It's a funny time of year when everyone else is playing and he's sort of doing more running loads. He's been back into training now for probably, as in our main training, for probably a month. So he's really fresh. He's got some real sharpness about him. So when he gets in, he'll be ready to go. Pretty solid, I would have thought.
Where's Callum Coleman-Jones at? Because there was a lot of excitement around him structurally in his recruiting, but he hasn't had a run at it yet, really.
No, we played him as that tall forward in the first round. He's certainly putting some pressure on our rucks. He's in consideration again this week. To Sarah's question in regards to the ruck, so we like the two rucks. I think there's enough pressure from CJ at the moment as to what we'll do and what we'll consider this week. So, he's certainly in the mix, and we'd like to get him into the team. So all three rucks understand that there's pressure. CJ's in good form. He's had a couple of really good games now at VFL, so he's pressing pretty hard.
Tom Powell, another one who had a pretty good hit out in the VFL. How far away is he, do you think?
Well, I think Tom just needs to put good consistency together. He was a little bit off the level of intensity we thought at AFL level. I think he had a really good game this week. It's probably unlikely to bounce straight back in, so he's going to have to put a few games together. We want those younger guys to come in with some good form. So I think just they've got to put, a couple of weeks, a few weeks together. Then that puts more pressure on us as selection to move something around for them.
Carlton are coming off a loss, so they'll be looking to rebound to keep their finals dream alive and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from the Blues?
Oh, look, I'd imagine that they'll want to come out and take control of the game. We're coming off a loss as well, so I'd like us to bounce back as well, to be honest with you. So, yeah, look, we've got to respect the way that they go about it. We want to get our aspects right. We want to get our game plan in good shape early and quickly, and wrestle and fight the game out. So that'll be the focus for us. I think it'll be still more about us than it will about Carlton, but we understand that, they'll want to put a stamp on their game early.
Do you have a message for members and North Melbourne fans who may not have signed up for membership this year? 1 and 5, it's looking like another really tough season for supporters of the Roos.
Yeah.
You mentioned before you won the last quarter against the Cats, so there's a positive there. But I guess what's your message to get fans through the gates this weekend, and what should they be really looking out for?
I think they need to get on board. I think our fans have shown great sentiment already in the understanding of where we're going. Building lists and building sustainable success is not easy. It takes time, it takes some patience. We want our fans to come and celebrate on the journey that we're taking, and to get them to come and watch those young players that are coming through, the Jason Horne-Francises, the Flinny Perez's that's come back, Bailey Scott, who I think is playing really well, the Tristan Cherries that have made a step up, and we're chasing wins. We're working our backsides to get wins. We understand. Yep, there's a process, but we want to win games, and we want our fans to come and celebrate. So we're asking for them to come along and stick with us, as they have done already. They've been fantastic. So that's the sentiment, and I think they clearly understand what we're trying to do.
After the weekend, there's talk around PCLs and Ruffman.
Yeah.
Do you have a view on that, and whether or not the umpires are adjudicating properly in terms of eyes on the opposition player when they are going off the mark?
From our side of things, with Todd being an experienced campaigner, we think we do. Todd's been pulled up a couple of times and jumping early and landing, and that's a block. I think they've got a close eye on it. They have a damn difficult task of a number of things across the game. I just wonder whether it's 2 incidents close by. If it's averaged out, it probably doesn't look too bad. I mean, they're not great injuries, we understand that, but I think it averaged itself out over time.